How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 2, and we've got a pretty spicy one for you. We've got a nice little meta matchup here. We got Drytron on the left versus Tri-Brigade on the right. Drytron piloted by yours truly, and Tri-Brigade piloted by none other than the gatekeeper himself, C Goody 17, who is cracked on the deck for real. So when I saw I was going to be playing him round 2, I was a little worried because he is the gatekeeper for a reason. But let's take a look at the poll results to see who you guys thought was going to win. Over 800 votes. A lot of you guys say Drytron was going to lose this one, and 48% for the Tri-Brigade, because I asked you guys who you thought would lose, not win. The best comment that I saw here on this particular one was tie. Neither will advance to top cut from King Lazy. Very, very interesting guess there. So, but yeah, getting started with the match. I do win die roll, lucky enough, and I start off with the Zeta Tribute Delta. Pretty okay hand. I do have a double Diviner in hand, I think. So we go ahead and normal summon the Diviner. So I'm trying to go ahead and get Ben 10 for this Delta, so I can not only tribute the Ben 10, but reveal the Meteonis in my hand to draw, so I can, you know, get quite a bit of advantage off of that. My opponent does have a response for my Diviner, and is going to be Imperm, which is like double good here, because I have a Talents in my hand that I cannot currently use. I go ahead and try to now fire off the Delta. And I think he was debating on whether or not he should Ash this, because I think we did see an Ash in his hand. Now, of course, Ash is really good against the Drytron deck. So is Bell. Bell might as well be your 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Ash. But he does decide to Ash me there, which is interesting. Maybe he was trying to call my bluff that I didn't have any more Drytrons left in hand. You know, lucky enough for him, I didn't. As I draw into Eva Ben 10 off of my talents. I didn't like I could have ripped a card out of his hand, but I feel like against Tri-Brigade, it's like almost like futile to do that, just because like they have so many starters in the deck. Every Tri-Brigade name is a starter, than Tanky, Rescue Cat, etc., Prosperity. Like, I'd rather just try to draw 2 there and try to find another Drytron name, but lo and behold, I did not, and I have to pass turn with Ben 10, Eva, Meteonis, and another Diviner in hand. I just have to hope he doesn't kill me. Like, which isn't like super unlikely. Like, he definitely can, but he also might not be able to. And if he puts up Appaloosa, like, it's also kind of just game over as well. So he's going to start off with the Caress, you know, dumping Kit send Nerval. Nerval add the classic Tri-Brigade shenanigans. He's going to go ahead and add another Kit off of the Nerval, getting his graveyard loaded up for his Tri-Brigade effects. Of course, to banish from the grave to perform Link summons. And that's what we'll see him do now, banishing Kit and Nerval for Karaz, and we'll go ahead and see him go into the Farragut, the Baron Blossom. Beautiful, beautiful looking Starlight rare here. And, of course, he could either use its effect right now, one of, like, the standard routes to summon from hand, and then link into Bear Brum, and then link the Bear Brum and the Farragut into Appaloosa, chainlink 1, Bear Brum, chainlink 2, Farragut. Right, you know, draw, cycle 1 back to the deck, and then search Revolt and cycle 1 back. But instead, he is going to link off the Karaz and the Farragut into a Bear Brum, and then trigger the effect of Farragut to draw and put 1 back, and now using Kit here to banish another 2 from the grave, Farragut and Karaz, setting up the banished for a big Revolt, even though he technically doesn't need them all banished, but, you know, it is what it is. Going to probably link into... Oh, I think he goes in... Yeah, he goes into the Daruma doll here, because he is going second right now, keep in mind. He has a battle phase this turn, so instead of going right for Appaloosa, why not go into the Daruma doll to get in a little more damage? For those that don't know what it does, it basically, I think it can pop a spell trap, but it also gains 100 attack for every beast warrior, wing beast on the field. So right now it's up by 300, putting it to 18. So I take 17 over Diviner for 12, 18 from Darumadal, and then another 7 from the Kit, which should put me down to 43. I had the life points incorrect there in the actual game, because neither of us accounted for the attack gain of Darumadal. So then he links everything into a 3-material Appaloosa, which now, looking back, yeah, it makes more sense, the line that he took here. A, he gets in more damage, and B, he gets the extra counter or extra 800 attack on the Appaloosa, which is insane against my deck. At this point, I'm wishing I hadn't used the talents, but then again, like, that's such a heads-up play, holding the talents for eventual Appaloosa. Maybe I should have done that knowing that he was on the Tri-Brigade deck as I draw what looks to be an alpha for turn. Or maybe it's a delta. I'm not entirely sure. But I did draw a Drytron for turn, which is really awesome. But now it's like, do I have enough gas in the tank? Yeah, it is an alpha. Do I have enough gas in the tank to be able to get rid of all 3 of these Appaloosa negates, still resolve an impactful effect, and not lose to the non-target banish from the Ominous Omen? So I normal Diviner, that gets negated with the Appaloosa. And now I believe I am using Delta. He lets the Delta go through as I reveal a Meteonis to go ahead and draw. And I'm like, please let me draw into a Talents. I draw into a Nova, which isn't terrible here. Nova could bring out one, and then I could probably synchro into Herald of the Arclight if I really wanted to. But instead, I go for a nice little play here. We go for Nightmare Phoenix. And this is great because if the Phoenix goes through, I can, pop the set and draw. So in theory, this is going to be something that's going to force out his Appaloosa hands down. He cannot let me go that plus against him, clearing or forcing the Revolt here, and also potentially getting a draw from the Nightmare Phoenix since it is co-linked. And I think right now he had a question about Ava, because I do have German copies in the deck, but we wanted to know if Ava was able to banish fairies of the same name from the grave. It can't add fairies of the same name from deck. You can banish just 2 light fairies from the grave, because I was going to banish both of my Diviners. So he negates the Phoenix, as expected, and then he negates the Ava, which I believe should have banished for cost. I think we might have forgotten about that in the heat of the chain links and looking up the cards in the process. Doesn't make too big of a difference here either way. So I do follow up with Nova, and Nova's going to go ahead and summon out Gamma. Now, here, I mean, I don't think there's any other way I could have played around the Revolt. I'm not entirely sure. I could have tried to go for Unicorn, but, he's revolting on the summon of Gamma, which makes sense. Maybe I could have summoned a less impactful name from the deck, like another Delta or a Zeta. But I get why he went for the Omen here when he sees the Gamma, because he can just banish it. And then I lose an Extender in the grave. But keep in mind, I still have yet to use Alpha. And I think I still have yet to use Zeta. Because he negated the Phoenix effect, he negated Ava, and he also negated a Diviner. So all 3 of the Appos have been burned, no problem. And I still have 2 Drytron names engraved, the Zeta and the Alpha. And I just have to try to play through this as best I can. So Battle Phase is also gone too, so keep that in mind. As he resolves all of his chain links, he's going to go ahead and search off Nerval. Ominous Omen's going to banish the Gamma. As expected, he can't let that card get to my graveyard, or else I will definitely have full combo still through all of these interruptions. So obviously a perfect time to go ahead and use the Revolt. But then I go ahead and Tribute Ben 10 for Alpha. And at this point, I'm like, if he's got another interruption, he's got another interruption. And there's not much I can do about it. But I also have to think about, yeah, he has the Ash. If the Alpha would have resolved, I think I would have been in a better spot. But now I'm down in advantage because I would like to have another body on board in terms of a Drytron name. Because if the Alpha were able to come out, I could just grab an Ida10 or a Natasha here, tribute that for a Zeta, grab another Meteonis because I am on 2, and that allows me to access to Mubeta Fafnir, which he is desperately trying to keep me off of right now. Again, I don't know if I should have summoned the Gamma off of the Nova. I don't really think I had an option, because if I didn't, he's still ashing my Alpha anyways, and he's banishing just whatever Drytron I summon. Regardless, I think, is still really high impact. I don't know. But I go ahead and add Natasha here, because I'm alright, I can try to at least take his Shurig, to make sure he can't link off it with the next turn to search a DD Crow or just another starter / extender. Because I already know he has Kit in hand, which is pretty much enough on its own, so I can't afford to let him have anything else. So I add Meteonis off of the Zeta. I have 2 Meteonis in hand. Now, arguably, I could have, added Ida10, and then, ritualed for Ida10, add back the spell, but then I don't think I would have had a way to get out the Ben 10 on top of it. Yeah, maybe I could have, I don't know. There's probably a lot of things I could have done in this particular match, but we go into the Nightmare Unicorn, and Here I'm debating on whether or not I should spin a card, but I decided not to use its effect because like the whole reason I'm doing this route is because I want to take his Shurig and I want to gain more life points to try to make it a little more difficult for him to try to OTK me even through an access code and maybe other cards. So we go into the battle phase here, and we never got into the battle phase before. I know I said I exhausted my battle phase, which is not true. I did not use my battle phase there. He ended up just revolting on the summon. Although, like, there's also no reason for me to go battle phase early because the Appaloosa was already burned of all of its negates. So, sorry for any confusion that may have caused by saying battle phase earlier, but we battle phase now, and then after that, I just gained more life points and pass. And he top decked a 1-for-1, but I don't think it ultimately would have mattered because I think just like the amount of cards he had in his hand to begin with was enough for him to try to go for an OTK here, which I think is what exactly he does. But I'm just trying to think now as he plays this out, like if there's anything else I could have done that turn 1, because I used Alpha, it got ashed, I used Zeta, my Gamma got banished, and I don't think I used Delta yet, because he used all 3 of his Apple negates on Appaloosa, or on Diviner, on Phoenix, and on Eva, because he has to negate the Eva, else I get an orange light for his Shurig. Well, which would have been chain block, so I guess it ultimately didn't matter, but yeah, he goes for Desperate Doom Eagle. He's going to shuffle one back, gets rid of the Alpha, which is already insane. So, like, hitting a really good extender. But, like, I think I could have just, like, Medionis back the Ben 10 and then, like, Delta Tribute Ben 10 and try to do something. I don't know why I didn't take that line. I guess I was just more concerned about going for the Natasha play. But, like, I don't think I was going to be able to pull off, like, a good play or not there, regardless. Like, he just has a lot of I definitely wasn't establishing, like, Ultimateness or anything with plenty of negates, so I just don't think it mattered either way. Although I think I could have probably played it better. And Assuring hits the grave. He grabs DD Crow, which is, like, already ensuring game here, even if he's not able to OTK for whatever reason. Like, if I had Nibiru or something here, like, he still has DD Crow, which is, in of its own right, is like an FTK, I guess. And especially in this situation, with how simplified everything is getting. So he pops, and then, yeah, that's enough right there, especially I'm only at 6,600. And we're going to go into a Game 2 situation. Down 1 game to Tri-Brigade. And, of course, as we head into Game 2, I want to mention a quick shout-out to Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in picking up any amazing playmats, deck boxes, binders, dice, sleeves, backpacks, etc., check them out at the link below, selling high-quality TCG accessories. And you can get it all for 10% off using my discount code WINNERKILLS10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And if you guys are buying anything off of TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below. You guys shop and check out. Using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel, and it helps out a ton. Like that playmat that I'm using is from Imperium Duelist. This is actually my design through Imperium. Artwork done by Frankie Art. Absolutely incredible mat, and it sold out recently. There was only about 100 or so available, and if you got your mat, you got yours, and I'm glad and grateful to everybody that bought one, but just an example of a high-quality mat you can get from Imperium. Even the one on the right is from Imperium as well. I don't think it's available anymore, but 2 beautiful mats. They sell all sorts of great stuff, guys. Definitely check them out if you have not. And here we are again with my Diviner getting hit with an Imperm, and I have a Gamma, Medionis, and Bell in hand. Bell is something I sided in here, even though I was going first, is because the DD Crow is main decked, obviously. And it's definitely staying in the side, or in Game 2 here, 100%, so I have to keep Bell in. Bell is also just crazy to try and stop the Revolt. Or I guess it could technically, no, it can't stop Ominous Omen, but Revolt is a pretty good card to try and stop. But it's not that good when they have, like, an Appaloosa on the field, per se, for your Bell. Then it's not that great. So here I Alpha Tribute Gamma. That's going to go ahead and add me Ben 10 here. So, like, I'm already in a halfway decent spot. Let's see if I make the proper play here. I think the best play for me to make would be to Gamma Tribute Alpha. Gamma Revive Alpha, then Tribute off the... Or this works too, I guess. This actually works 100%. Go for Medionis to bring out the Ben 10, and then Gamma Tribute Ben 10 Because the play I was thinking now just in my head after the whole match had already happened would be to just make Mubeta first, dump Zeta, then tribute Alpha or Ben 10 for Zeta in hand, and then ritual it and tribute again. But like, I think going this route may ensure that I can tribute Ben 10 maybe a few more times. Of course, here as I go ahead and add Ida 10. And I also go ahead and use Meteonis here on the Alpha, dropping it by 1,000 to add it back to my hand. Which is honestly like the best thing about Meteonis. Like, if the deck didn't have that ability to recur its ritual spell like that as often as you could, the deck would be, it'd be in a much worse spot. And I also playing 3 Meteonis would be like the wave. And just using your Zeta search every time would be really, really good. And then you'd have to also worry about bricking on too many, but I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just an interesting thought, I guess. It's just like a really clutch effect, I guess, too. So we overlaid to Mubeta. Have yet to access Delta or Zeta. I don't go for the Zeta here because, again, like I already have a Meteonis in hand. We go ahead and detach. And here I could bring out Ida 10 or Ben 10. I'm not really sure, because if I bring out Ben 10, I don't get my ritual spell back, and then I'm not setting up Ultimatus either way, which is really rough. So like, I'm valuing, like, do I value another draw and another search of a light fairy for something like Orange Light? Or am I trying to go for something like Chaos Ruler, because that's also an option? So I think I make the better play here by bringing out the Ida 10. Ida 10 adds back the ritual spell, and then I go into Chaos Ruler. I'm trying to dig into like Evas right now, more Drytron names, etc., etc. We mill Ultimatus, which is great. Mill an Alpha, Ash, and a Natasha. So unfortunately, we don't hit any other. We don't hit like a Gamma or a Zeta, which is what we were looking for. Which there are still 3 copies apiece in the deck, so we had a pretty decent chance at getting them probably. And I can of course take optional take any of the light or dark monsters that we mill off Chaos Ruler there. And I take the Natasha, and we're going to go ahead and detach again here for the Meteonis and ritual out Ben 10, and then we're going to go ahead and Delta tributes the Ben 10, and then that go ahead and reveal the Natasha, draw a card, and then we go ahead and search off of the Ben 10 for any light fairy, because I think I drew an Orange Light, which is really good. So I have Orange Light Ava in hand, plus a Ida 10, and a Bell. And then I think I go ahead and link into IP Masquerena as a final part of the combo here. I could have made Mirage Light, which maybe is what I should have done, but I think IP is much better against his specific deck, especially since I have Chaos Ruler established already. So if I go for a Unicorn play, next turn I have the Dark Engrave to bring back Chaos Ruler. So I have basically 2 monster negates and a spin on my board, plus battle phase protection. So like, I'm feeling pretty good here against Tri-Brigade, having the stops that I do. He starts with the Prosperity, which is really great. He's going to go ahead and definitely banish 6 here to dig deep into the deck to try to find maybe a board breaking card, or just more extenders to play through the cards that I currently have. Oh yeah, one thing I want to mention too is I double uploaded today, and if you guys haven't seen the video I put up earlier, it is a Drytron test hand video, in-depth Drytron test hand video, where I basically walk through the Alpha Zeta combo, walk through how to get to Alpha Zeta, or basically full combo through just like, you know, a random assortment of Drytron names, how to play through Droll, how to play through Ash, and how to use Chaos Ruler to extend in situations where you're very low on Drytron names. Kind of a similar situation to what we are here. Part of me feels like I could have maybe done full combo with the hand that I had. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Somebody will let me know in the comments, I'm sure. Just do it nicely, please. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and add Fractal here off the Tanky. And he's going to pitch Fractal. That's going to dump Kit. And I'm waiting for the Nerval because I'm definitely not letting the Nerval go through. I can't. I think the Nerval is like one of the better things to stop. You could argue stopping Fractal is good because it stops them ultimately from getting to Nerval. But then if they normal summon a Nerval, they can get into like a link and then search again, and then you're kind of out of luck. So I think stopping the Nerval is really strong as we add another Orange Light and Diviner to hand. And the great thing about having this Ida 10 in hand too is that I can use my Orange Light by pitching the Ida 10 and saving the Diviner as a really good follow-up. And then here's the normal summon, which I'm like, all right, I have to stop this. can't let the normal summon go through, or else I'm going to be in a world of hurt here. So we go ahead and go for Unicorn. And I have to pitch the Natasha here. I don't have Ida 10. Pitch the Natasha. So yeah, I mean, at this point, if I use the Orange Light again, I have to pitch the Diviner. But because I don't want to ditch the Bell here, because I want to save the Bell for a Revolt. So I passed her, or he passed his turn after that, thankfully. And I draw into another Eva, so my Diviner is now protected from any hand traps like Ash. Also protected from Droll, protected from DD Crow. So we normal the Diviner. We dump Herald of the Arclight. And I think I go ahead and grab Chaos Max here. Because I have Gamma in Grave, which is really, really strong. And I also have Meteonis access, so I can just go into Gamma, into Mubeta, dump a card, and then detach both for Chaos Max Dragon, bring back Chaos Ruler, and that's like definitely game with the board that I currently have. And I have the Bell for a Revolt. I have the Bell for DD Crow. I have the Orange Light for Nibiru, right? I'm just basically going for game here. So Gamma tributes Chaos Max Dragon. And then we overlay into Mubeta Fafnir. And right here, we already have 4,200 damage, 4,700 damage, we have 5,000 damage on board right here. So I don't even need the Chaos Max Dragon. Like, I can just banish 2 for Chaos Ruler and go for game on the 1, 2, 3, 4, on the 5th summon. And I have, again, Bell and Orange Light Ava in hand. So, like, I'm just waiting for him to throw something at me because I have the stops for it. And this is definitely going to be game here if he does not have anything. And yeah, he goes ahead and scoops him up, and I'm managing to bring it back here, taking game 2 pretty commandingly. And we're on to a game 3 situation, tied up 1 game apiece. Let's see if you guys were correct, man. 52% voting that Drytron would lose over almost 900 votes. Now I'm going to refresh the poll. Yeah, 852 votes as I'm commentating over this. 52% saying Drytron will lose. Let's see if you guys are correct. Let's see how much faith you have in me. I mean, you guys didn't know that it would be me playing Drytron in the future, but I mean, because we do have a couple Drytron players in our area. Also, keep in mind, this is sped up 130%, and we're about 22 minutes in. So, like, time is, I think we have like 6 minutes left in the round right now. So my opponent is trying to play quickly because he does not want to slow play. He understands all that very well. So just going through his searches quick into the Farragut, summoning out Kit off the Farragut. In hand, I have Bell, I believe, and Nova. So like I'm going through like a very quick thought process right now because time's ticking down, right? I need to be able to think of my plays very, very quick. So when he gets to the board that I know he's going to get to, I know how to like try to navigate it. As he also links for Ominous Omen turn 1 to get a DD Crow search, which is nuts. And he's also going to be able to, of course, chain block the Bearbrum, get into a 2-material Appaloosa, and draw a card in the process, like cycle a card from the hand. So incredibly good, the Tri-Brigade deck. It's like such a good deck, but also at the same time, it seems like a very fair deck too. Like, think about it this way. Has there ever been a deck that just makes Appaloosa and sets a card and passes? And the card might as well be Karmika, essentially, but a little bit better. Like, think about that. That's how strong the deck is. Like, it's tier 1, but it does something so fair and it's refreshing. And then you got a deck like Drytron, which on the surface seems fair, or seems unfair because of the whole Ultimateness thing, but, like, it can't beat a deck like Tri-Brigade. And that's mainly because it puts up Appaloosa, which is, like the Achilles heel of Drytron is that, you know, multiple monster negate. So I like I said, I have Nova plus Bell. So I'm like, all right, here's the game plan. I come up with it very quickly. I'm like, here's the game plan. Nova out Gamma, and then hack over the 1600 Oppo, and if he tries to revolt me, I just Bell it, right? Easy. I just out the entire board, right? And also, my opponent, in the rush of everything, forgot that he had an anti-spell, and he forgot to flip it up on the activation of the Nova. But he just does it on Resolution, which is still strong, because it's keeping me off Meteonis for the time being. Yeah, I go Battle Phase, I'm like, attack, he's like, Revolt, I'm like, Bell, he goes Appo, and I'm like, oh my god, how did I not even foresee the Appaloosa negating the Bell? I mean, that's just the heat of the moment thing, I guess. So here comes Shurig, here comes all the chain links. Bearbrum, Nerval, Ominous. So he'll get to non-target banish. He'll get to add Revolt and discard 1. And he's going to go ahead and also get the card he's gonna search out of the deck too, right away before I cut. Put a card to the bottom and then, you know, just search real quick. Just save a little time because it just does not matter that much. And then from here, I'm like, all right, how can I keep playing through this? I'm like, all right, we'll go Zeta, Tribute Alpha. Because right now I also need to keep in mind, I need to get to Nightmare Phoenix too. And then I'm like, Alpha, Tribute Zeta. He has the DD Crow that he searched, and I just have 2 rituals in hand. And I can't do anything else, so unfortunately I do lose very hard there, very quick in game 3. And it looks like you guys were correct. And, of course, if you guys want to see more of my videos, click on one of the ones popping up in the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a special thanks goes to all of the Divine level channel members who go above and beyond to support. And they're Cadillacs84, Pony Stark, and Keith Sidgers. Thank you guys so much for your extremely generous support of the channel.